So my name may be DJ, but here I am with the real thing, Miss DJ Rashida, world renowned. So we know you've traveled all around the world DJing, you've been in Sydney, London, all of these wonderful cities, amazing cities. What's next in store for you?
What's next is I want to somehow kind of help bring other DJs, female DJs, men, it doesn't really matter, but I've kind of created a lane for myself, and I want to be able to help other people who aspire to do what I've been so blessed to do. And I also am a visual artist myself, so when I was in art school, I started DJing then, and it turned into a job miraculously, and then I just took off with that, and I kind of left my gallery dreams behind. But I definitely want to get back into my visual work, and also I'm working on music. I mean, I'm just a creative, so as long as I'm doing something creative, doing what I love for a living, I'm happy, and that will always be my future at any age. I can imagine that's what it's always going to be. So.
So if just one more question, what would you say to somebody who is, a budding artist or someone who has a love of music and the arts, but, who might not know necessarily how to, go about, a career or, furthering themselves in that industry? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, one of the most valuable things that I learned while in art school, I had a really amazing professor, and she always told us, as artists, you're going to have to create your own jobs. And that's something that I really took to heart. And, perhaps what it is that you're supposed to be doing hasn't been created, that lane hasn't been created yet. And if it is something that, exactly, there's somebody doing exactly what it is you want to do, I mean, I would say, go find them, make them your mentor, and really even just visualizing it. It'll bring them to you, or you will find them. It's not the mind power. It works. I'm like, it's real. You believe it, you see it, it'll appear in front of you. You just step into it. But definitely, I like the idea of always keeping an open mind of not necessarily having to step into somebody's shoes. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think as artists, it's. There's the starving artist thing is a thing for a reason. It's, you have to be creative, and artists are creative, but not necessarily, they don't always think about that when it comes to a job. So maybe, you think it's one thing, but I would just say stay open to what's going on around you, and you might find that you end up, being a pioneer, making your own job. And I think it's something to look out for, to keep in mind.
Okay, I have one more question because I know who this is for the audience. So, and this is definitely been important for me, but I know you've traveled all over the world, so you've seen a lot. I know it's added to your experience and such. How do you feel like traveling the world has added to you as a person, added to your experiences, and maybe even added to your expressions of how perhaps you DJ or your art or your love and taste of music, etc.?
Yeah, big time. I mean, well, firstly, you go around the world. On one hand, you realize that we are the same, and we are, it's not just, there's not different races, it's the human race. And, that's for one. And musically, too, it's hilarious, but I mean, I found that there's certain songs that I could play it in Australia, I could play it in Egypt, I could play it in Atlanta, and it'll go,
Amazing, isn't it?
But on the flip side, traveling also I've gotten to hear so many new sounds and things that then I've been able to bring back with me. And, just a small example, in South Africa, they have all sorts of their own kind of genres of music popping. And I was really in love with it. And, I played in America, and people go crazy. Like, music is a universal language, so it's interesting to see, again, just how it works amongst all peoples, and sometimes things are specific. It's only certain people get down with certain things, but it's definitely broadened my not only musical vocabulary, but just my mind, my wardrobe, my life, everything.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.